Hello, hello, hello. Hey, everybody. Happy Thursday. Welcome to Bead Stash Challenge. It's week 34, and we are going to make our design today. So today's design, we have to make a beaded chain, which means we can make that and use it in whatever we want. Hey, Janelda. So our beaded chain is going to be made, but I also have to use a lobster clasp and a carabiner clasp in my design this week. So we're going to make a necklace because that'll be the easiest to make multiple clasps and use them. So we're going to discuss that a little bit. And I have to use turtles. Who doesn't love turtles, right? And we have to make something that works in the water. So my turtles works in the water pretty good. So we'll discuss more of that as we go on. Just a reminder, Sunday, very exciting. You did, huh? Well, you know, these are the best colors ever, right? So just a reminder, Sunday at noon, we are going to make this little guy. He's the first of our cactus garden kits that we are doing a make along for. So if you have your kit, or if your kit is on the way to you, which is the case in some people's situation, to make it like I made it, you need 17 3-inch or longer head pins made out of 24 gauge wire. Okay, so again, that's 17 head pins. 24 gauge wire will allow you to put all this fun stuff on the top of your cactus bead. Okay, if you only have 22 gauge wire, you will not be able to put all of these on there, but you will still need some 3-inch or longer head pins. Okay, if you're using 26 gauge wire, that's fine. It just might be, you know, you'll have plenty of room. You just have to be careful that they don't bend as you're trying to put them into the cactus. So, anyways, so that will be taking place Sunday. And again, if you don't have your kits, this one's available for $10. My last day to ship things is tomorrow, though, so we'd have to get your invoices out to you today and get it paid for me to ship it tomorrow. And otherwise, I'm not going to ship anything till after the 14th of September. Okay, so the other two kits in our Cactus Garden series at the moment, I'm hoping to add more, but we'll see. We have our Prickly Pear kit, and we have our Saguaro kit. These are both $16. If you order any 2 kits, you get $2 off. If you order 3 kits, or any combination of 3 things that I sell, including cards and bead mixes, you get $5 off, okay? That's my bundle deal. So to order that, you either need to comment on one of my videos or my posts, or send me a message directly to Desert Cat Creations with what you'd like to purchase, and I need an email for sending you an invoice. I do have a website, but the way I have it right now, it won't allow me to automatically do the bundle. So if you're going to order a bundle, order it directly from me. But if you want to use the website, I do have a coupon on there that's 10% off your order, which, you know, you only get to use it once. It's a first timers coupon, and you know what? I'm going to have to double check what that coupon code is, but first time you use it, you get 10% off your order, okay? So, regardless of which buy. But you only get to use it once. But like I said, I can't figure out how to... The way it's has me setting up things, I can't do the bundle discount the way I like to do it. So, you can get that if you order directly from me. So, anyways, let's get started. I have a hard cutoff of 1:05 or so today because I have to go get my hair done. So, And then we'll talk at the end about our schedule. We will be on Sunday, obviously, for the make along and to draw our cards. But the next 2 weeks, my schedule, there won't be any lives. Okay. So we'll talk about that again when we're done. But let me flip the camera and let's get started on our project. So as always, we zoom in so you can see, but you know, we're trying to make it so that I can stay on the camera too. So, all right, let's see what we're working with today. So we need to make a beaded chain. So when we draw cards like this, you know, it could be your complete project or it could be part of a project. But we're supposed to use a lobster clasp. So we're going to do that. We're supposed to use a carabiner clasp. Now I could have put one of these cards back, but both of those have, you know, multiple uses that, you know, makes it so they can be used together. So I'm good with that. And we have to use turtles in our design. So those of you that are new to this, so the two clasp cards are from our non-jewelry and findings deck. Turtles are from our Sun and Sea deck. So if you only have deck 1, you will not run across any of those. You will find the beaded chain card though. And design, we're supposed to make our design something so we can wear it in the water. So we talked about that a little bit on Sunday when we drew that card. So basically, if you want things that you can wear in the water, you want to avoid things like leather or fiber. Okay, so, you know, you could, I didn't really think about it before, but you could get by with Fireline. I mean, but it would stretch too. But you don't want to use like silk thread or any of those things. You also want to be careful what kind of components you use. Now, sterling silver and gold are pretty much, they can handle most water. Now, if you're going to wear something in the ocean, it may not last, especially if you're using, you know, something lower than fine silver or, you know, high gold content, a nice thick coating. But stainless steel is good. Putting things on beading wire is good. I had pulled out, I have a ceramic turtle, and I'm actually not going to use him, but, you know, he would probably hold up most of the time. Now, if you left him drenched in water, eventually I think he would dissolve or the finish would come off, especially if it's salt water, right? So we're going to concentrate on using glass today. If you use base metal components, they're going to lose their finish, or anything that's plated will eventually lose its finish if you wear it in the water too much. So if you're one of those people that wears their jewelry all the time, including when they're showering, you know, base metal components will lose their coating, and most of them are brass or copper underneath. So if you like the shiny silver, it's not going to stay silver if you put it in the water a lot. But anyways, it can handle, you know, some water, just not constant water. So what we're going to do is I've pulled out a variety of glass beads, including, I love these little, these were in a Softflex kit last year. They had a turtle themed kit. So they're turtle shells. So, you know, you can either add a head and legs and make it a full turtle, or you can pretend like your turtle is all snuggled in for the night, right? So I'm going to pretend like my turtle's all snuggled in. We're going to use those. But I also do have some glass turtle beads. These are from Beadoria. They're super cute and they are available on the website. So somehow my hand is not quite under, not showing both things. Anyways, so they come in a multicolored strand. Those are super cute. And then I'm just throwing in a variety of glass beads. These are also from Beadoria. They're little 8mm coins, which I love. And I have a couple of mermaid beads. These are they're from our beachy bead mix. So if you want a combination of, rather than ordering a bunch of strands, you can get a combination of like mermaid beads and lava beads. Lava beads would probably work, although most of those things are like reformulated. So again, you leave them sitting in water, it's going to damage them, but you know, just the occasional getting wet should be fine. And then I threw in, you know, like a fish just for variety. So I pulled out a stainless steel chain. Now this is a finished chain, but it's because I'm sort of cheating, but on the other hand, it saves me a little work because it's already got a lobster clasp, okay? And this necklace is a little shorter than I want, so I am going to cut it and, you know, put some beads into the chain at various points. And then I also have this carabiner clasp, so it's open right now. Now this particular one, that end is kind of big, so when we go to put things on here, if we want them removable, we'll have to make sure the loops are big enough to fit over that threaded area. But if we want them permanently, we can just hook them directly on there. With these, especially the small ones, you do have to be careful because sometimes the openings aren't very big. So whatever you're going to slide it onto has to be able to fit through that little gap there. I mean, there's some flexibility, but they're pretty hard. So, and I have run into facts that when I used little tiny ones that they did not, they don't fit over things. So, all right. So what I want to do is I'm going to just, you know, weave some of these beads into my, my chain. I personally, if I'm going to wear something in the water, which I don't, I will be honest, I take off all my jewelry when I shower or go to the pool or whatever. But I know a lot of people don't. But I would want a shorter necklace. I don't want something like flying around that's going to end up in my face or come off over my head, right? So I want something that's going to be short. So I'm looking for 18 to 20 inches. I prefer the 20-inch length. Sometimes 18 feels a little short for me, and this is an 18 gauge or 18-inch chain, so we will cut some pieces out. Now I know I'm not going to need the full length of this chain to make it 20 inches, but I want to keep, you know, the end that already has the clasp and the end that has the loop to hook it into, because this is a small enough chain, I can't really put the clasp into the chain links. So my section of chain that I'm not keeping has to be somewhere in the middle, but I want to make sure that it's, you know, that I get the biggest chunk left over possible, because then I can use it for a future project rather than having, well, not that I can't use little tiny pieces of chain, but the longer the better, right? So I think I'll start with the end that has the clasp on it. Again, this is stainless steel chain, so I'm going to use my memory wire cutters. I mean, it's not that thick, but still. And I'm thinking if I want it, I think I figured out if I use 4 beads on each side, that added about 3.5 inches total to my thing. So I'm gonna start at like 2.5 inches, and we are going to just cut this. I'm not gonna worry too much about being precise, okay? So I now have a section, so I am going to use my wire. So I thought I would use I have some steel wire, but it's galvanized steel and it's very stiff. So I am going to use just this 24 gauge wire because this is small chain. And realize that, again, the finish will come off of this if you use it, if you keep it in the water too much. But by keeping the amount of wire showing small, it's less likely to get messed up than, or at least show if it gets, you know, faded. As opposed to if we made the whole chain, which, you know, we can just put a bunch of links together to make a beaded chain. But so I'm just sticking the wire, my small loop, into one of the chain pieces of chain here, and now I'm going to just grab that, and we're going to try to twist our wire around. I always struggle with when I'm using the really small gauge of wire, trying to get my wrap tucked in because it wobbles and bends. Now, so again, this is the same gauge that I'm talking about for your cactus. I think for that particular cactus we're making, I think gold or copper would look the best, but you know, silver's fine too. Whatever you have. All right, there we go. That's tucked in. Now I'm going to make a little tiny, trying to make a small loop on this guy's size. So the question here is, do I keep going down, you know, one side and around the you know, around the chain, the necklace, or do I start at both ends? And I think maybe I'll do two, and then maybe I'll work on the other end. So again, I cut that off. I'm just going to hook it in here. Just make sure you didn't accidentally cut your link that you're trying to hook it into. Make sure that it's a closed link. And we're going to just tuck that in. I'm going to use my pliers to pull it tight. I can't. Having a little trouble getting a hold of this. There we go. Apparently I went out this morning, had an appointment, and then we got coffee, and I should be really really with it after that coffee that I had, but I feel like I'm still not quite awake. I don't know. Maybe I'm just hopeless. All right, I'm just gonna tuck that in. So see, we're working on our beaded chain here. So, all right, so then I'm thinking, all right, how far is that? That's, all right, I was thinking I wanted to do about 2 inches between. I'll go a little less. And, you know, so basically I'm just taking an existing necklace and then I am, you know, sparkling, adding some sparkle to it, right? So. Because, you know, that would be fun too if we're at the beach having some sparkle in our chain, right? But, and, you know, keep to making a loop at the end, because again, this chain has small loops, so you don't really want a big one that's going to stand out when you're adding your pieces of chain here, so, or pieces of sparkle, whatever. Alright, and now we'll slide these down, and we're just going to keep going here. And since I'm not hooking these, you know, to another loop that I'm making, I have to cut them off and hook them to the chain, right? So, alright, I am going to go ahead and hook this to the end of this chain, and then I think I'm going to work from the other side to put those 2 beads on, just because, again, I don't want the necklace too long. There's advantages to having necklaces that go over your head, but you don't. Yeah, certainly I could use stainless steel head pins. I have stainless steel head pins, but I don't know where they are right now. I was looking for them, and I never did. Oh, eye pin. Yeah, I don't think I have stainless steel eye pins. I used to buy eye pins a lot when I first started making jewelry, but I decided that it was easier to just make it easier and more secure just to make a wrapped link than have that one side that's not on there as securely. All right, so there's those first 2. So now I'm going to add those same 2 beads to the other side at the same length. So actually, I think I'll just rather than measure off of my just measure off the chain. Alrighty. So I think I'm going to make this symmetrical, so I'm going to just use the same beads as I go along here. So Janelle, there you're getting a lot of the rain. It looked like there was a lot of storms hitting down there along the coast. We got a little rain earlier this week, which was much needed. But but we need a lot more. It's been very, very dry here this year. But it was neat. I went out yesterday walking, and there's a couple of cactus flowers that always bloom late summer, and they only bloom after a monsoon storm, so got a few flower pictures. That was a nice surprise. Yeah, well, you guys may still get some. Monsoon season's almost over for us. Our chances of getting some good rain go downhill quickly after next couple of weeks, I think. I think it's officially September 15th that it ends. Doesn't mean we won't get any rain, but it's less likely. Alrighty. Oh, your two buds, all right. Now, I thought maybe my organ pipe was going to bloom again. I looked, but I think what I was seeing was where the buds were, although I haven't checked it again, so I might have to go out and do that. The end off of there. I was trying to, you know, not have to do too many loops today, because I know this gets it's redundant. So I think, you know, I'll draw my cards on Sunday. And I think I'm going to try to take my project with me. We have a couple of sea days on our cruise, so should be able to work on it while I'm gone. I just won't, like I said, there won't be a video. All right. Move along quicker there. So we've got two beads in there. Hey, Marianica. Oh, I look forward to seeing your nails. I should get mine done so you guys don't have to stare at my poor nails, but take pictures. I could do that. We'll see what I'm making to start with, so it may be something super simple. Tempted to, like I said, I really love these little these blue crystal coins. I might have to just make me a longer chain with crystals. I don't know why sometimes your wire is very cooperative and other times not so much, especially when I'm filming. It's very uncooperative. Tuck that guy in. Now that one, the hole must have been a little bigger. Oh well, that's fine. All right, so now see, so far we have this chain, but yeah, it's a good way for a really long chain necklace to do something like this. And it's also, you know, if you have a chain that's too shorter than you like to wear, you know, if you're one of those people that likes longer necklaces, which I like long and short, so you can lengthen your necklace. All right, so our next bead's going to be our turtle. So I guess there sort of is a, all right, he's going to be leaning down. I'll have to make sure I put them both on the same way. There is a it is not a symmetrical bead. There are two different directions you can put your bead. So if I was giving him a head, I definitely need to make sure I put the bead at the right end. Tuck that in. All right, and you know, I've certainly built these beaded chains using just chain that I added a clasp to at the end, which is probably simpler than what I'm doing, but like I said, I have a bunch of these 18-inch stainless steel chains I got from somebody who was doing some closeout, and like I said, they're nice for like just dangling something small from. You know, perfect for that. Let's get that tucked in. I know I always have to go back and tuck things more when I get off. Oops. All right, now we need to put our other side. Then we're gonna have to do some measuring and make sure we're where we want to be. As usual, I got too many tools working here. All right. Oh, okay. So I had the tail end up, so I'll do that again. If you like turtles, these turtle shell glass beads are a lot of fun. Of course, you know, we can all make our own turtles because we have our turtle kit that we've made turtles out of, and you can make them into jewelry. I've made them. I didn't wear it. I haven't worn it in a while, but I have a bracelet that I made. My turtle. Out of beads, and then put him on there. If anybody's wanting to make some turtles, I still have kits. So I'm a little curious to see. I noticed that, you know, nobody from overseas, or a lot of overseas people, are not shipping in the U.S. to the U.S. right now. And they just put huge tariffs on India, where a lot of the beads, the gemstone beads, are cut. So I'm curious to see how that impacts the availability of beads coming up this weekend. Starting today, actually, there was the fall Tucson gemstones opened up, so there's at least 3 shows going on this weekend. Hoping I might try to make it out to one of them tomorrow, but we'll see. I've got stuff going on, so. Trying to get ready to go on my trip. But I also don't want to miss out on not having to pay shipping if I can find stuff I'm looking for. So, for those of you that have been to Tucson, the fall one is not even close. It's more for the locals, so you get a lot less vendors and a lot less people buying too. All right, so we've got 3 beads, and then we've got this section here. Let me see how long this ends up being, because maybe we will stop there. Actually, that's kind of right at 20 inches. So I was thinking I would add, you know, one more round of beads, but I am thinking we're actually pretty good there. So my thought was then I would hang this off the chain. So we're going to put there, and then I was going to put some dangles hanging down from it. So I'm going to use these turtles and the fish, you know, just a couple of dangles. So I think just to make my life easier for the moment, I am going to just put things directly onto this, and then I'll attach it. But you've been getting your aromas for well, it's kind of nice to still be on the mailing list, right? All right, so this one I had already, I was just messing around with my steel wire, which maybe we'll use the steel wire to attach these. So I am just going to put that on here. Now, again, this is steel wire, so it is very stiff. There's no way you can do steel wire without a second set of pliers, especially if I was on the spool still, I probably could. So for the other ones, I might want to do that. So see, we're just going to have a dangle that, and I think just to keep it short, I am going to do the dangles close together. I was debating whether to make them different lengths. What do you all think? Should I use, so I've got the clear one on there. Should I use the blue fish and the blue turtle? Or should I make it 3 different things and make it this shell, the shell and the fish? So what do you guys think? The second turtle or the shell, the clam shell? The shell and the fish? Okay. I will go ahead and use my you know what, I'm going to open this back up. I'm going to work off the spool here. So I think I'll do the fish. All right. So what I did with the turtle is I just did a small, again, this steel wire is very stiff and hard to work with. I would definitely recommend that if you're a beginner wire worker that you not use steel. Use something like copper wire because you'll be frustrated at how stiff this is. And even I'm having troubles getting a nice compact ring there. But what I like to do is then kind of make it like I was making an eye pin. So if you don't know what an eye pin is, it's just a loop, that's open so you can open and close it and attach things to it. Alright, so let's see if we can get this onto our clasp here without too much trouble. I'm going to slide this over the wire and through, and then I'm going to try to make get my loop back circular here again. And remember, this is steel wire, so I need to use my memory wire cutters, not my regular jewelry cutters. And for some reason that's a little bent, so we're going to I'm trying to straighten it up and tighten those wires all at the same time. Because sometimes when things get bent, when you straighten them out, then it doesn't sit snugly. which it's not, but all right. It's all right. All right, well, one more. See if it'll cooperate with us. All right. All right, I'm got that guy there. Now we'll just do our loop here. Woo. And I'm going to put a biggish loop here. And see if we can slide that right on there. And I'm going to hold it while I try to wrap that. Yeah, the one bad thing about memory wire cutters is you can't get in there tight, so you have to adjust it as you go. Tuck that in. All right, so we've got our dangle here. Let's get everything out of our way here. I drive myself crazy with too much stuff on my desk here. All right, so now what I want to do is attach this in the middle of my necklace. So I'm not sure it would fit over the turtle bead. Oh, it would not fit over the turtle beads. And then I'm just going to try to tighten that up. Not wanting to close. I don't know if it got stripped. No. I may have to get a different one out. I know I had it closed before though, so it is closable. Oh well, well, you guys will get the idea. Mess with it afterwards. All right, so here's our finished necklace. Again, we used glass and stainless steel because they'll hold up to water more. Now, your turtle beads do have an AB finish on it. Obviously, if you wear it in the water a lot, that finish will come off. These other ones, well, those do have a bit of AB on there as well. So, you know, if you wore it in the water a lot, it would come off. But then we used our carabiner clasp to make our little dangle. So we have our two types of clasps. We have our lobster clasp. We have our carabiner, which, like I said, I'm going to have to switch, obviously, because it got stripped. We've got our beaded chain, and we've got turtles, and a turtle. So I think we're good to go. And I'll try to put it on real quick, and then we'll see what it looks like. Although I've got all these other necklaces on. Come on. All right. So here we go. You know, I could still go back and add, you know, one more bead on each side if I wanted to add a little more color, but that's where we're at. So all right, so fun times, and like I said, I guess I'll be fixing my I gotta figure out what's wrong with my clasp here, but otherwise we are done. And you know, the good thing is, you know, if I did put 2 more down here like I was planning on, then I could just wear the chain. Right now, you know, you end up with a long piece of chain there in the middle if you don't have anything dangling from it. So who knows, I might go back and do that at some point. But there we go. All right, so Sunday noon we are gonna make our barrel cactus kit, and we are going to draw for week 35. Then, like I said, for our design reveal, I will be doing that on the road. So yeah, maybe I'll post a couple different pictures. We'll have to see what we're making, right? And then week 35, drawing and reveal are also going to be on the road. I get back late Saturday night, so I have to say the Sunday for week 36 I may postpone that till Monday, but I'll just make a post when that gets closer, and I've made that decision. But we will be back live at that time. So thanks again for joining me. If you haven't already, please like and follow Desert Cat Creations on Facebook, Instagram, and subscribe to us on YouTube. After 30 days, all the videos are only available on YouTube. I do try to move them over there either the same day as the video or within a couple of days. So those videos are there. We don't have everything from last year, but we have quite a few. We have all of this year except for March are on the Facebook page. So if you haven't already, please subscribe, because I'm trying to get enough subscribers that I can go live on Facebook and YouTube at the same time. So that's my goal for this year. And you know what? It's September. It's going to be September in a few days. So, yeah. So I'm going to have to need some more subscribers. So hopefully you all can help me out there. You know, the nice thing about YouTube, it's not like if you subscribe to things, you're getting a bunch of junk. It'll just alert you at some point, but you know, you may not even have your stuff set for notifications. All right, so yes, I will see you Sunday, and you guys have a great weekend. I hope you have a chance to be creative, and as always, if you have any questions, just feel free to message me and I will answer them as quickly as I can, and love to help you out. And if I'm not available, you can always post something in our group, the Bead Stash Challengers group. If you haven't already joined that, please join that. And I'm sure that some of our lovely people that belong to that group would be happy to assist with any problems that somebody might have. We're here to help, and we want to encourage you guys to be creative, get designing, and you know, and share what you're doing. It always inspires us to do other things. So thanks again, and I will see you Sunday. Bye.